Okay, so today we're going to dive into a psychological pattern that so many people live through but might not really have a name for. We're talking about the whole eldest daughter experience. It's this incredible story of both burden and, believe it or not, brilliance. And it starts way earlier than you'd probably guess.
I mean, does this question just hit you right in the gut? If you have always felt like you had to be the grown up, the one everybody could rely on, the person holding everything together, then you're in the right place. That feeling, it's not an accident. It's often the very foundation of your identity, laid down when you were just a kid.
And that really brings us right to our first big idea, what we call the mini parent effect. For so many eldest daughters, this is the origin story. It's where the seeds of your greatest strengths and your biggest struggles were first planted.
Now, we've got to be clear here. This role is so much more than just a bit of babysitting. It's about taking on this deep, almost adult level of responsibility. Maybe it was managing schedules, being the family mediator, or even becoming the emotional rock for your siblings and your parents. You basically learn how to handle a crisis before you even know how to drive. So, being put in that position early on, it shapes your brain in a really specific way. On the one hand, you get this incredible sense of duty. You become a natural leader. You're the person everyone knows they can count on no matter what. But the flip side of that coin, it can be almost impossible to relax, or even harder to ask for help. The thought is always running in the background. If I don't do it, who will? And when you're the one who's always in charge, that constant feeling of duty tends to morph into something else, something really powerful. This intense internal pressure to be perfect. And you can see exactly why this happens, right? This kind of perfectionism doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It grows in an environment where your value feels connected to what you do, your grades, your accomplishments, how good of an example you set. And when you're always being told you should know better, any little mistake doesn't feel like a chance to learn. It feels like a massive personal failure. And this right here, this is the core belief. It's the thought that just runs on a loop in the back of your mind. It's not just about you being disappointed in yourself. The weight is so much heavier. It feels like the entire family's stability is somehow resting right on your shoulders. The stakes just feel impossibly high all the time. So, what happens when this kid grows up? Well, these patterns, they are deep-seated. They don't just magically disappear when you turn 18. Nope. They follow you and they end up shaping your relationships, your career, and your mental health in really specific ways. This lays out the duality of it all so perfectly. Look at your career. These traits can make you an absolute superstar. You're a leader. You're beyond responsible. You get stuff done. But that exact same wiring can lead you straight to burnout and to tying your entire sense of self-worth to how productive you are. And then in relationships, that pattern of overgiving can mean you attract partners who kind of need taking care of, which makes it really hard to build a truly equal partnership or to hold firm on your boundaries. And you know, all this pressure, it absolutely takes a toll. The potential risks to your mental health are real. Anxiety, burnout, people-pleasing, these are super common. And I really want to point out that last one, high-functioning exhaustion. You know that feeling? Being completely and totally drained on the inside, but on the outside you look perfectly fine, capable, and put together? It's a classic pattern. But please remember, it doesn't have to be your fate. But hang on. This is probably the most important part of the whole story. It's so easy to only see the struggle, but that would be a huge mistake. Because these exact same burdens, they are the fire where incredible brilliance is forged.
So let's just flip the script on this whole narrative. We're not talking about baggage you have to carry around forever. We're talking about earned strengths. These are qualities that you developed under intense pressure, and now they're basically your superpowers.
I mean, just look at this list. None of this is an accident. You're reliable because people were always counting on you. You have deep empathy because you spent a lifetime tuning in to what other people needed. You are resilient as hell because you had no other choice. These aren't just personality quirks. They are strengths that you earned the hard way, and they make you who you are. So owning those strengths, that's step one. The next step is figuring out how to use them in a way that fuels you instead of drains you. And that brings us to a path forward, a path toward growth and healing.
Okay, so how do we actually start moving forward? This is a really powerful roadmap. It's all about consciously unlearning that core idea that your worth is tied to how useful you are to others. It's about practicing the really, really uncomfortable act of letting someone else help you and not feeling guilty about it. It's understanding you can set a boundary without a 5-page explanation. And maybe the biggest one of all, giving yourself permission to be imperfect out loud, where other people can see it. So, I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. What if you just shifted your entire perspective on this? What if all that weight you've been carrying wasn't a punishment, but was actually your training ground? What changes for you when you stop seeing your sense of responsibility as a lifelong debt you owe to everyone else and start seeing it as a powerful, earned strength that you now get to use for yourself?